This is the process I go through for everybody's ukulele before we send them out. First thing we'll check for is cosmetic blemishes, things that, you know, is a little bit more than just kind of normal factory standard. After that, just kind of check out what we're gonna have to work with as far as action and, you know, the neck and everything. So the first thing I usually do is check the action. Usually you want it to be between 2.5 to, you know, between 2.5 and 3 millimeters. The lower you can get is usually better, but you kind of want to do the best considering what you're working with. So this one's around 2.8 millimeters, so I might take it down just a little. Sight the neck. If it has a bow in it, you got to usually compensate for that when you do the fret dressing. There's just no buzzing on the nuts, and then check the frets. This one's got a little bit of buzzing. I always laugh. I like to keep it lively. You know, don't take myself too seriously. You want the first one to be the highest. You want them all to be pretty level, but the basic idea is that you don't want any ones to be higher than the other because that's how you get buzzing. I'm just gonna start taking them down, checking them to make sure that they're level, and then once they are, we can round them back off. If you kind of look at it in a certain light, you can see the flatten angle on the frets. If they haven't been touched by the file, then that means they haven't been hit and they're lower than the other frets. So as I'm doing it, you can kind of see which ones are getting hit, which ones are being lowered the most, and those are going to be the higher frets, so you kind of want to concentrate on that area. So they all look pretty level now, so we'll just round them back off.
If the rain comes, they run and hide their heads. They might as well be dead. If the rain comes, if the rain comes, when the sun shines, they slip into the shade. When the sun shines, and sip their lemonade. When the sun shines, when the sun shines, rain.
To get rid of all the steel wool dust, take a paper towel, and you want to use some fretboard oil. Use Dunlop 65 Ultimate Lemon Oil.
The weather's fine. I can show you that when it starts to rain, that everything's the same. I can show you, I can show you.
Fretboard's all leveled off, we still have to lower our action.
I don't mind.
Make sure you keep the saddle very level while you're doing it to make sure you're not going to sand down one end more than the other. You want to keep it very smooth. Be careful when you're doing it. If you're using an automatic sander, you have to be extremely careful. It's probably better just to use some sandpaper manually. Get tension back up on the first string so you can check the action height again to make sure you did it right. You did it right. So we can tighten back all the strings. Notice that buzzing that we had first is gone. Okay, it's all good. Now we can move on to adjusting our nut height. For files we use from Stuart McDonald, you want to make sure you use a specialized file. If you try and use something else, you're either going to make it too wide and wind up with another problem, or something that is going to end up throwing off the string. The important thing to remember is if you go at a wrong angle, if it's too far down, the string's just going to sit in there and it's just going to buzz against the sides, and it's not really going to be touching. You have to have a friction point. The angle of your wrist, the angle of the file, if you go too sharp, you're going to end up digging in and gouging your headstock. Too far back, you're going to wind up with the wrong friction point, so the string isn't going to be able to oscillate properly, and it's going to wind up with buzzing. Got your ukulele and it doesn't seem like it's staying in tune. One reason of that probably is just because being nylon strings, they need a while to stretch out. If it was a ukulele that had string replacements or a changed set, or even one that came pretty soon after the factory, they're probably going to need to have time to adjust. If you want to hurry that process up, a light stretching, making sure to do it one string at a time. And you want to work your way down the string at several spots instead of just tugging at one end. This will speed up the process. So now you guys know what we do to each one of your ukuleles before they leave our shop. If you do try and do this on your own, beware, do it at your own risk, but also kind of realize how one thing has an effect on another thing. If you do lower the saddle, you're lowering the string height. If you're lowering the nut, it's doing the same thing. So that usually is how buzzing occurs. Fret dressing gets rid of a lot of the problems, but at some point every ukulele does buzz. If you like low action and you play hard, it's probably not the best combination, and you're just gonna have to kind of find that balance. A lot of the problems too that can come up has to do with, I can do a lot with your playing technique. If you're plucking straight down, that's gonna make a buzz if you are playing a $3,000 instrument or a $50 instrument.